Other interesting political news, you have DeSantis on Nikki Haley saying Iowans need to have their votes corrected. So again, this is a little 2-minute clip from Ron DeSantis being interviewed. And I was going to say, that'd be a fun poll. Most awkward smile of all time. Ron DeSantis? It's up there. Don't get me wrong, so is mine. But nevertheless, he says before the video, quote, "It was disrespectful for Nikki Haley to say that Iowans need to be corrected. She thinks she is above hardworking Iowans. I'm proud to have visited all 99 Iowa counties and to have met so many great Iowans along the way." Unquote. Though if I would have loved to not debate him, but it's kind of, again, you can't know every state history and all the nuances and all the fun facts. But if I was back in the Hawkeye state and I was there, I would have asked him, so what's the famous actor from here? One of the greatest actors of all time. Fun fact, John Wayne, the GOAT, as some might call the greatest of all time, one of the best actors, obviously. Not a lot of people know he's from Iowa. There's a lot of cool things, but nevertheless, I guess a more recent pop culture or cinematic figure would be Ashton Kutcher, who was famously spotted in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And some people debate he's an Iowa Hawkeye. He was there, I think, for 1 or 2 semesters before he got picked up by the limelight. Famously spotted, or no, was he famously spotted in Iowa City? I forget. He lived in Cedar Rapids. Iowa City is where the University of Iowa is. That's where all the bars are. There's a story about how he got spotted. But nevertheless, John Wayne's the GOAT, is all I'm saying. It looks like Ron DeSantis is on some type, I can't tell if he's on Fox or just a regular interview, but without further ado, I will play the interview.
Nikki Haley, former Governor Nikki Haley, was in New Hampshire saying that the order of things, Iowa, they cast their votes, and then New Hampshire corrects it, and South Carolina brings it home. I don't understand what New Hampshire corrects following the votes coming out of the Iowa caucuses, Governor. Maybe there's some understanding of how this works that I don't get. Can you explain that for us?
No, look, I think it was very disrespectful to Iowa voters because she's saying that those results need to, quote, be corrected. I think it's because she's seeing that she doesn't have a lot of support in Iowa. She is spending, and her Wall Street allies and liberal donors are spending an ungodly amount of money attacking me. I've had $40 million spent against me. That's more than has been spent against both Biden and Trump combined in this election cycle. And it's more that's been spent against all other Republicans combined just against me. So that's what they're doing. But yes, it just shows you she does have contempt for people out here in Iowa. She's really gravitated to these Wall Street donors. She's bragged about being close with people like Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock. She's getting money from the founder of LinkedIn, who's one of the most significant left-wing donors in the country. And so I think that's the company she's keeping. So she looks in Iowa.
Why didn't he bring up Jamie Dimon, one of the most influential CEOs on the planet? Unless I had a brain fart and I missed it there, but he's the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, who famously, he said you should support Nikki Haley if you're a business owner. Kind of that, what was the old theory, the controlled opposition, because she had so many things in common with the other side.
You have a lot of people that are hardworking, patriotic, God-fearing, people that farm, people that own small businesses. And I just think she thinks she's above it. So I think that comment is going to hurt her down the stretch here in Iowa. But I think it's been one thing after another, Dana, with Nikki Haley. She was really, her candidacy has been created by the media, and they've been pumping her up. But yet you watch how she's performed under a little bit of scrutiny. She's had a lot of difficulty to basically just go a single day without putting her foot in her mouth.
And speaking of,
not to have the, what was the old age-old saying, the pot calling the kettle black, but DeSantis has done that too. Now, it's funny that he's critiquing her for having a lot of high-profile donors and getting so much money from Wall Street. It is publicly known that a lot of those previous donors that were supporting DeSantis shifted to supporting her. So in terms of point of attack or moves on the political chessboard, I don't think that's a very prudent move because, again, someone's going to probably call them out and be like, well, it was okay when you were getting their money. And again, I'm not saying it's an exact donor base. Every single donor is exactly the same. I'm not sure about the LinkedIn founder who's also funding that. But of all the things to critique Nikki Haley for, if I were on DeSantis, I wouldn't focus on that as much as I would have all of her, some for messaging that has flipped throughout the years, some for policy stances that have changed. And again, that has happened, and a lot of politicians do. I think that's a more articulate plan of attack for Ron DeSantis. And again, he's nervous about her because, again, in some polls, she is beating him. Again, that being said, in the poll aggregators, DeSantis is still ahead of Nikki Haley, usually by a percentage point, which is still terrible marketing. Ron DeSantis, I was going to say, I'm not a doctor. However, if you click the subscribe button, it may help with my speaking ineptitudes. You might think it's bad. However, if you watch the first couple episodes, it was way worse, and I had a lot less subscribers back then. So there may be some to that theory. Just saying, can't hurt to click that button, and it does help the channel out. And going back to DeSantis, he has shot himself in the high-heeled boots so many times, it is almost as if maybe he was using a .50 caliber. Just boom. Because again, I shouldn't have to be the one explaining this to his campaign staff or him. He does have a track record that's been proven. Why doesn't he advertise that in a simple, articulate way that the consumer can understand, the voter can understand? Again, make t-shirts, hats, and other merchandise, and just lean into something simple like DeSantis does or DeSantis did. So, and then put 1 or 2 or 3 bullet points on all that swag saying, hey, I did X, Y, and Z. Do the polls to see what are the top topics that voters and prospective voters are caring about, and talk about how you have accomplished those things in Florida. I mean, he very uniquely has a track record, while other candidates do not, and some of them have bad track records. So it's one of those things where, with a good marketing campaign, this is, again, one of the most fascinating things that I like about business as well, is with the right marketing campaign, you could accomplish great things. I mean, look at this the pink Stanley thermos mug that was a collaboration with Starbucks, was sold exclusively at Target. They sold out in droves. It's $49.99 for 95 per unit. They sold on eBay for $200, $300. It is going viral, partially because it is, I'd argue overwhelmingly because of brilliant marketing. They leveraged TikTok. They leveraged influencers. They got people excited about that little product. They sold out in droves. And Ron DeSantis, again, he started around 30% in the polls last January 2023, and he's gone down from 30 to 20 to all the way to 12%. And again, these polls aren't perfect. They are sample sizes, usually between 200 and I think the biggest sample size is around 5,000 registered voters. But again, it's one of those issues where it might not be accurate, but we're trying to work with the data that we have to trying to do the best we can with the data we have at hand. And in the poll aggregators, he's doing worse and worse and worse, while other candidates, pretty much everyone else, is increasing. Now, Vivek did drop down. I think Vivek topped around 11% in the poll aggregator a couple of months ago, previously in 2023. He went down already, and then he went down all the way to around 3%. Now he's up to getting back up to around 5%. But Nikki Haley is increasing, and she has even more funding than DeSantis. So it does make sense that he's going after her. But again, in terms of moves on the political chessboard, let me know in the comments if you think differently. But this particular critique, I don't think it was very compelling, or really didn't do much. And the upside is DeSantis he said he went to all 99 Iowa counties, which, again, that's good. Iowa's an important swing state. It's also a great place to live. Great people there. I might be biased, obviously. But that's good. I focus more on that if she has. But who knows? Perhaps I'm alone in this analysis. Let's dive in the comments and find out. Now, again, they got 130,000 views and 2.5 thousand likes. Let's see here. First comment, and this is a repeat commenter. I'm starting to notice Mr. Unfiltered Boss is a repeat DeSantis commenter. And he said, quote, Trump and Haley have insulted the voters in Iowa. Only one person has shown them proper respect by championing the things that they care about and taking the time to meet them and answer their questions. DeSantis 2024, unquote. They got 37 likes and is the top comment thus far. KD Hatcher says, quote, that's why you, DeSantis, how we the people are feeling and what we are thinking about. You're not sitting in your high tower reading paid for polls. Thank you for being who you are at our time of great need, unquote, getting 14 likes. And I was going to say 2 for 2. The odds weren't in his favor, but we do have the contrarian statements already brewing to the surface, although not as disgusting as a Bud Light, thankfully. D says, quote, what's disrespectful is ignoring a shooting where children were killed in a state where you pretty much live in and not one peep of sympathy from D simpletons. only one candidate offered prayers. You're supposed to be the Christian family, and you can't post 5 seconds of a prayer. Prayer for kids and their families, unquote. And that got 14 likes. Going down. Idaho boat guy who A plus for I'll say B plus for marketing. He is, in fact, his profile picture is a gentleman in a boat, though I do not see him holding a potato, which is what pretty much pretty sure that's what we know about Idaho, right? Nevertheless, this alleged Idaho boat guy says, quote, before Trump loses Iowa, I would advise him to suspend his campaign, apologize for not being loyal to DeSantis, endorse DeSantis, stop using campaign funds to pay off lawyers, come clean, and 5, come clean about Jeffrey Epstein, unquote. They got 11 likes. Let's see here. Oh, here's a very important comment. This in terms of quality, this is the best comment bar none. The best likes, the best, the most. And that might be a terrible impression, but if it made you smile, worth it. This comment comes from The Topping Show. And that handsome gentleman said, quote, it is impressive to see a slight change in the response ratio. Seems to be moving in a favorable direction for DeSantis, unquote. Getting 3 likes. Though, perhaps not that all too timely since, again, I guess that is only one negative comment thus far, when usually it's a lot more like 50-50. And although that only got 3 likes, I would say those are the best likes, obviously. It's hilarious. Now I think I probably should have liked it myself, but nevertheless, that'd be unethical, obviously. Now, going back to the comments section. Let's see here. Philip Davis says, quote, Ron DeSantis is a leader and representation of the real America as it should be today. He represents decent, hardworking Americans and patriots, unquote, getting 9 likes. Someone by the name of hashtag Trump 2024 with a black and white picture of Trump. The hashtag is Pendle Jimone memes. Though, F- for marketing, they did not reply in a meme form. Nevertheless, hashtag Trump 2024, maybe we'll give him a C plus for marketing. You at least know what this person is probably thinking. And he says, quote, ha 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 ha, clown, unquote. No clown emoji, though. He didn't do that. He did get 6 likes for that, however. Scrolling down to see more and more. Sean Phillips simply says, exactly, 100%. Hashtag DeSantis 2020, getting 4 likes. Let's see here. Someone by the name of Idaho. Oh, it's again Mr. Alleged Idaho boat guy. He has no potatoes. And he says, he has a meme or what is it, a juxtaposition of 2 pictures. One is of Trump saying, I've always gotten along with Haley. And to the right is the NPC character with the Trump hat. And they say, we've always gotten along with Haley, unquote. They got 17 likes. Now there are many speculating that the quote was taken out of context. And again, that's the thing is, I've looked around and none of the major outlets are saying, well, what context is that? Because again, that's actually what Trump says. Trump has said that pretty much about everyone, especially when he was campaigning back in 2016 or 2015. I mean, everyone used to critique him. Why do you get along with all these folks? As well, as a business owner, I got along with everyone. That's my job. So we don't really know the context, but nevertheless, in terms of the ratio, that did get 17 likes. Scrolling down to a couple more. Henry Thomas says, quote, is that the only state you're campaigning in? Your strategy isn't moving the needle, Rob, unquote, getting 10 likes. Though, it has a little bit. Again, this is the poll aggregator from projects.538.com. In the poll aggregator, he has gone up by about 1%, so he is ahead of Nikki Haley. Now, granted, that could, like the stock market, that could change in a minute as they add another poll to that poll aggregator. Henry Thomas says, quote, Trump 2024, getting 8 likes. Let's see here. Tony says, quote, Vivek went to all 99, unquote, getting 6 likes. Let's see here. Marcel Thomas says, quote, Ron DeSantis respects Iowans and their votes, unquote, getting 11 likes. Let's see here. So it does look like more positive responses than usual for Ron DeSantis. And again, there's some contrarian statements, obviously. But it'll be interesting to see, again, as the campaign trails really start to heat up, will he be able to turn around his campaign? Will he hopefully fire some inept people who are working for him, aka their marketing department? Or maybe they'll hire someone with a modicum of intelligence to run the marketing department to highlight some of the good things he has done as a political leader. It'll be interesting to see, but as I always say, time shall tell. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, we're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of January, so if you click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, if you give me a comment, it's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Leaving me a thumbs up is a great way to help with the YouTube and Rumble algorithms, so the video hopefully gets shared more and more. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.